Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is the paper talk. As you can see, I'm back outside Old Trafford and it is absolutely freezing. I'm glad I've got my parka on. Well, is it 2020 or is it 2013 or 2014 or 2015? Because there's another Cristiano Ronaldo to Manchester United rumour. It seems like we go through this every single season. We sold him in 2009 and by 2011 there was already Ronaldo's coming back to Old Trafford rumours. Now the reason there's the latest stories that Cristiano Ronaldo could be heading back to Old Trafford, and I say could in capitals, is because apparently Chevrolet are interested in financing the deal. There's reports coming out of Portugal that Chevrolet have looked at the way that Cristiano Ronaldo's move to Juventus helped the Jeep company and the way that it's increased their profits and it's been a commercial asset, and they're willing to finance his wages to bring him back here to Old Trafford. His wages are roughly around the sort of £25 million a year mark, around that mark, sort of £500,000 a week or whatever. And Chevrolet, according to some reports, as I said earlier, it's up to you whether you believe it or not, coming out of Portugal and a couple of other places the English press have picked up on, Chevrolet are saying, listen, we sponsor Manchester United. Cristiano Ronaldo is obviously a massive commercial asset. We would help to finance to bring him back because it'll help improve our sales as well. So there's lots of ifs and buts and maybes with this, and it's one of those where I take it with a sort of a bucket load of salt. But as always, we'll keep an eye on it. It is doing the rounds, so it's worth mentioning. In many ways, it actually makes a bit of sense. You think, okay, Chevrolet, you're probably a bit disappointed since they started sponsoring Manchester United, seeing as when they did, we were a team that were always in the Champions League, we're always challenging for titles, and now we are in the Champions League, but we're not always in it, and we're certainly not always challenging for titles, so they may feel a little bit shortchanged, considering it's one of the biggest deals, if not the biggest deal, sponsorship deal in football. So bringing someone like Cristiano Ronaldo would obviously increase the sort of commercial value of that deal. But it's not just up to your sponsors. Your sponsors don't decide who comes and plays for Manchester United Football Club. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does that, and the board and the powers that be, unfortunately the Glazers as well. So we'd have to see whether they'd be interested in when Ole wanted back. You'd think he would, because even at 35, Cristiano Ronaldo is obviously still a very effective player. But I'm always sceptical with Cristiano Ronaldo rumours. We've heard them before, they've never come to fruition. He's a player that always seems to like to move forward rather than going back. So it wouldn't surprise me if after Juventus he went to somewhere like Germany where he's never played, or maybe France, maybe PSG. But as I said earlier, we'll keep an eye on it because you never know. But file it under doubtful. Another less unlikely story doing the rounds this morning is Bruno Fernandes and a new contract. Apparently United are set to double his wages to £200,000 a week. You think, what, double him to £200,000 a week? He's not on at least £200,000 a week. He is the greatest footballer on the planet. How can he not be on more? Well, apparently when he signed a deal worth around £100,000 a week, which for him was bumper money coming from Sporting Lisbon, and United were obviously happy to offer him that. But there's talk now in the papers doing the rounds at United, because of his performances, his value, and also a little bit of interest from the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona, the Reds now want to give him a new deal for around £200,000 a week, which would still only, and I say only because it's obviously a lot of money, but in sort of comparative terms, would only bring him up to the sort of same wages as players like Dean Henderson and Jesse Lingard. It almost seems a little bit crazy that those type of players, and I'm not dissing them, are on double the amount that someone like Bruno Fernandes, who is arguably the greatest midfielder on the planet. So he's looking at signing a new deal, or United are looking at signing him down to a new deal. He has got a lot of time left on his contract. I think it's 4.5 years, but you can understand why the club would want to give him a pay rise. Usually when the club offer a player a new contract, I worry, because it's usually someone like Phil Jones or Chris Smalling or Ashley Young, or even Nemanja Matic, who's playing well. We'll go and offer a 30-odd-year-old a 3.5-year deal or whatever it was. It doesn't make any sense. So usually you're like, why are we doing this? But this makes a lot of sense. You'd want to see Bruno Fernandes earning the sort of money that keeps him happy and keeps him here, because you can imagine that, yes, there's interest now, as we know, or supposed interest from the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona. That's only going to increase. More clubs are going to be looking at Bruno Fernandes. And yes, we're Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world, but you can understand it when some players might get their heads turned. So get him tied down to a bumper contract and keep him happy, because we need him, and his performances certainly warrant being on a par, if not earning more than some of his teammates. Another story doing the rounds, talking about Jesse Lingard, is Jesse Lingard could be on his way to Aston Villa. Now, this was doing the rounds in the local press, I say the local press, the Birmingham press, not the local Manchester press, saying that United more or less offered him to Aston Villa, and Aston Villa are looking at him. Now, I don't know whether this is true, whether this is going to happen. They say that it's been reported it could happen in January. Jesse could be ended there. I mean, he doesn't seem to have much of a chance of getting into the first team here. I know he's features sort of sporadically under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but he's nowhere near a first teamer. And this is a guy that, a couple of seasons ago went to the World Cup and started pretty much every game for England, every important game anyway. And since then, his form and his sort of opportunities have almost fallen off the edge of a cliff. Now, Aston Villa are a big club. There was some sort of suggestions in the summer that he could be heading there, so it doesn't surprise me that this is still being mooted. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. I don't think many United fans will be too gutted to see Jesse Lingard go, and I've spoken about him in the past. I almost feel a little bit sorry for him because I think he has become almost like a figure of ridicule at times by United fans. But let's not forget, this is a guy that scored the winner in the FA Cup final. Some players dine out on that for the rest of their life, and rightly so. He also scored an important goal in the League Cup final as well. He had a little bit of a purple patch, didn't he, for about 12 months roughly, where he couldn't do anything wrong, and then it's sort of all gone to the dogs. So we'll wait and see what happens, but Jesse Lingard to Aston Villa in January could be a possibility. Now, another possibility on the incomings is Kieran Trippier. A bit of a funny one, this. Didn't see this one coming, even being brutally honest. But I think it was Mike McGrath in the Telegraph had a story doing the rounds yesterday and this morning that Kieran Trippier is on Manchester United's radar. He's having a good spell at Atletico Madrid. They're top of La Liga. He's 30 years old and he's been sort of touted as a possible rival almost, or competition in the United side, or backup maybe to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, whose form has been, I'd say, decent. I think he's been a good signing for Manchester United. Going forward, there's obviously some question marks defensively. He's one of the top defenders in the league. But there's sort of talk and there's reports that Kieran Trippier could be coming to Old Trafford or could be on United's radar because Ole sees him as someone who can offer backup or competition to Aaron Wan-Bissaka for that right-back spot. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. We know that on the left-hand side, Alex Telles has obviously come in at the right time because Luke Shaw's not fit and he's offering competition as well. We know Brandon Williams can play as a right-back. He is right-footed. We know he can also play as a left-back, which is where he's played most of his games for Manchester United. So it is a bit of a surprising one, but a surprising one that makes sense, if that sentence even makes any sense, if you understand what I'm on about. So, Kieran Trippier to Manchester United. Mike McGrath is usually relatively reliable, so we'll keep tabs on that. I mean, whether Kieran Trippier even wants to come to Manchester United, we'll have to wait and see. He is, as I said earlier, having a very good spell of it over in Atletico Madrid. So, again, we'll let you know if anything comes of that. Now, at the time of recording, we don't know the travelling squad for RB Leipzig even game. Manchester United obviously in action in the Champions League tomorrow night, but we will keep you posted on that when that is revealed. We'll also have the updates from the press conference. We've got Howson's Brew later on. Me, Steve and Andy Tate is going to be coming on that as well, and then tomorrow we'll have you covered for the entire game. We'll have the watch along, we'll have the fan cams, we'll have the live reaction, and before that we'll have the preview of course as well. So make sure you're subscribing, and if you've not done so already, get involved in the members. You might want to join our membership. We're offering, I think it's a 12 days of Christmas, I think it is, on Stretford Paddock, where we're doing giveaways. We're giving away t-shirts, giving away lots of things actually, including there's a chance to win a PlayStation 5 if you're a gamer. I'm not, I'm too old for all that sort of stuff, but if you are a gamer you might want to get involved in that, so check that out as well, the Paddock 12 days of Christmas. And if you're not a member or whatever, just make sure you're subscribing. I've been Jay. This has been the Stretford Paddock, get my words out, Paper Talk. I'm getting cold, it's freezing. Thanks for watching.
Head over to stretfordpaddock.bigcartel.com and check out the Paddock merch. And for a short time, you can get 20% off orders with 2 items or more using the code Paddock20. Go get on it.